This is a guide on how to do guild activities and earn guild activity points through doing events. So in order to start, I'm going to go ahead and open up the menu button, and then down at the bottom there will be the guild button. Go ahead and click that and it'll bring you to this homepage. Now, with the homepage open, you'll see a couple of things, such as the information right here. This is set up usually by the guild leader. It is unfortunately not possible for the guild vice master to set it up, which is strange. You'll also have inclusions to guild info, guild prosperity, activity rewards. Activity rewards are very important because it'll give you these, which will be used later on for other things, which I believe is this down here. Now, the other thing that is pretty essential with the guild page is the return to base down here. This will take you to the guild garrison through whatever button, keybind, so on and so forth is linked to. So that's very important. Now, going up to the member roster button in the corner, we're gonna go ahead and press that, and then we're gonna go ahead and open the view. This will give you the details of your other guild members. Right here is your weekly activity points, and then your guild member activity points, which can be useful if you're trying to like compare yourself with another guild member or something, or if you have like a little rivalry. That's up to you. But it's the quickest way to check how many activity points that you have, and then the quickest way to earn them is through this event tab right here. Now, going to this event tab, you'll be introduced to this little bubble, and then you'll see weekly must do, weekly recommendations, and other mode. We'll start with weekly must do. So the first thing to point out actually is the Wander Jade, which is this right here. This is the way to determine how many points you're going to be getting after you complete the task. And then treasure token is basically the currency of the guild shop. That's all that that's for. And then you also have the weekly upper limit, so you'll only be able to earn this much of guild tokens during this week of your guild participation. However, there's also this right here, which is the 1 out of 5. So let's use Carefree Moments as the example, which is already finished for me. I stayed inside the base for the first minute, and then that was the completion of the 1 out of 5. It went on to staying in the base for 3 minutes, and then you get rewards each time you complete that milestone until you hit the 5 out of 5, which was staying in the base for a total of 20 minutes. And it's the same way with everything else. You participate in something one time, or you consume 40 energy one time, and then it just continues to go up more and more. Moving on to the Guild Hero realm, this is something that you'll want to do with your guild members, mainly because doing it as a group in a guild will give you a lot more clearance rewards compared to doing it with Smart Assist. As you can see, there is a clear difference in how much you'll be gaining if you're doing it with your guild members. This is a once a week thing, however, you can participate in the challenge multiple times. You just won't be able to collect that clearance reward a second time during the week. And then moving on to weekly recommendations, it's actually pretty similar to the weekly must do. There's really nothing that's too different. It's the same 5 out of 5, 1 out of 5, so on and so forth. Showdowns are linked to whatever your guild has it set as. Currently we have ours as Sundays and Saturdays. You can also modify the times and so on if you are the guild leader, or the guild vice master, I believe, is also able to change the times. Wandering Pass, this is something that you can do inside the guild if you want to do it that way. It's the Mahjong table or the Mahjong cards. My favorite way to do it is actually the Skyward Dance, because each time that you're invited and you're accepted to do the Skyward Dance, you can just skip through it and, you know, finish it. And it does count as a participation to finishing this. And then the other thing that will require a bit more of a lengthy detail is actually the commerce coins. This will go up to 2,000 commerce coins of earning. So to start that, we're actually going to go ahead and leave the guild menu. And then we're actually standing right in front of the trade commission. This is for players who are actually not inside of a guild or are not joined to a guild. So it is possible to do this without having joined the guild itself. Which is in Kaifeng. You can go ahead and teleport to this marker, this one. It really doesn't matter too much so long as you can get to the trade commission, which is right here. And then we're gonna go ahead and walk inside. And there is this man. We're gonna go ahead and talk to him. So there's price fluctuation, and then I'd like to sell some goods. For now, we're gonna do price fluctuation announcement. Okay, so currently this is my local sale. Other people will have it labeled differently, so this one could be someone else's local sale, or this could be someone else's local sale, but currently this is my local sale. So originally it started as, here, let's go ahead and do local sale. So originally it started as 25. That's how much it would have cost if I had bought it before the, we'll call it inflation started. But right now, if I wanted to buy it in my world, it would be 36 commerce coins per. But since this hasn't fluxed, it's still at 70 per. Now, if I wanted to, let's see, if I wanted to sell it to earn more commerce coins, I would actually go to remote price or friend price. It really depends. But let's do remote price for now. So the person, like this right here, would be the flux. So this is what you're looking for. The higher the number is, which it'll go up to 300%, the better. So if you can find someone with that 300% and they will allow you to enter their world, so you can co-op request and then you can enter that person's world. It'll take you to the place where you're standing right now. It'll take you right here, but it will be inside their world. So you won't be able to purchase that item in their world, but you will be able to sell that item at this person within their world. So let's go back. I'd like to sell some goods. So we're going to go ahead and go back to this one. We're going to do remote price again. And then as you can see, it's changing the players. That's what the refresh button is for. So the higher fluctuation percentage you can find, the more that you can sell the item per. You will sit here for a while just hitting the refresh button until you can find someone who's got like the highest price you can find in either your server, I believe. It is a little difficult to find someone who's at 300% unless they're advertising it and trying to get more players into their world. However, unfortunately, I tend to sit here until I can find about 295. That is the best way in order to earn those commerce coins, but if you don't want to go through that, then you can just go ahead and do the local price and then just sell however many you have, and that'll be so actually I have, so one of these, if you sell at local price, will actually only be 62. So it's really not worth it. Genuinely, it's not worth it. It is better to at least try to find someone who is just slightly inflated, if you're not looking for someone who's drastically inflated. But yeah, that's the explanation for commerce coins. It's pretty simple. The reason for the commerce coins needing to be like a detailed explanation is actually because it's pretty important to finish this all the way through. Getting up to that 2,000 coin is actually going to be probably one of your highest earnings of Wanderjade, because that's 600 points just finishing this. So that is one of the very high up there things to complete when it comes to weekly recommendations. Moving on to other mode, it's similar to the weeklies, as it is a weekly itself. So co-op exploration is the same as the other 5 out of 5s. The only difference is that this is co-op. You have to be in someone else's co-op world. You cannot be in the multiplayer. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Unfortunately, it won't register. Breaking Army is the same thing as Showdown. Your guild leader or guild vice master will determine what day or what time it is set as. Ours is set as Saturday and Sunday as well. Guild party, I believe participating once will just give you that Wonder Jade. I don't think you actually have to meet that quota of 30 minutes. I'm not entirely sure. Guild Transporter is pretty straightforward. Okay, Guild Transporter actually requires you to be inside the guild. So I did go ahead and join our guild garrison. So what you're going to want to do after you load in is just run straight forward to the guy ahead. Now, this is the person who you'll be talking to for your guild transporter. So just do that. And then I've already completed it. However, you will see a box of 8 different things that you will have to submit or fill out. You can go and do your collections in your own world, or you can go ahead and like click on it and then do how to obtain, and then it will show you the shops that you can attain it at, and that's how I usually finish it. If I have the battle pass, you're able to just open those shops right away, purchase it, and then submit the material after purchasing it. That's the quickest way to finish it that I found. Otherwise, you can also do a help attempt, which is basically sending a message to your guild channel of, hey, can you help me get these materials, or can you submit these materials in my place? That way I can finish this, and so on and so forth. After you fill out the first 8, you'll be given the reward for that 8, and then you'll actually talk with him again, and then you'll have to do it again with different materials, and then once you finish that one, you'll be collecting the reward again, and then you'll talk with him again, and that will give you different materials to find or gather, and then it stops at that 3rd one, and then you have the remaining help attempts, which are 10, and you're finished with the guild transporter. That's really it. But yeah, no, each one will complete it until you get additional Wander Jade. I believe this one is actually probably the highest in terms of how much you are rewarded back whenever you complete everything. And that should be everything you really need to know about guild activity points and how to earn them, or at least the quickest way to earn them. Yeah, I hope it was informative, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I really don't mind trying to answer some things, if you cannot find an answer to them yourself. So yeah, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.